a tiger over Loki, and we're going to probably grab Cinder-ella here. Unfortunately, can't cast the Witch's Brew. I think we'll use the roll. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could have, sold this. If we had one more gold, right? We could have sold this. I think we're just gonna, let it roll again. This will eventually turn into a 2-drop treasure. We don't have any doubles, so we're just gonna have to keep going and see if we can work something out. We actually won this fight. They had a pretty small board for Merlin this early. Ooh, casting 2 spells is super appealing here. I'm gonna do that. Okay, we ended up losing 2 gold. Not too appealing in the scheme of things, but I think here we're going to want to just grab the Archer. Maybe just grab the Baby Root. It's probably the strongest overall. And we'll probably put this behind here, mostly because these two have to attack. They have, they take damage when they attack, so we want to buff their health over the one that doesn't take damage when it attacks. We do lose 2 health for this, but it let us cast 2 spells, basically get 2 spell casts on the Cinder-ella for basically just 2 health and no gold loss. So I think ultimately it's fine. Oh, that was an unfortunate hit for us, obviously. We're definitely going to lose this fight because of the large range character, which is getting even larger with the Sad Dracula ability. They're probably pretty happy with how that's playing out for them. So, in my mind, there's some, obvious things here. We have sort of a spellcasting comp developing, so I could see us getting Spellweaver, buffing it. I think that's how I'd want to start. Let's get the Spellweaver in. Okay, so if we're going to do that, we're considering buying this first. Then we buff that, then I think we sell the chicken for the second one of these, and then I think we'll roll, and we'll pause here. Next turn we can get some Turkish Delight and get an upgrade. That will get us 2 level 2 treasures. And I think that will be pretty good. No, we should have moved the range character forward 1. That was a mistake. Ooh, and that was an unfortunate attack for us. Are we gonna be able to win this? Yeah, it looks like we will, which is nice because we actually get some extra gold. And we keep our research, which is perfect. So we'll use the upgrade. Grab this ability. Ooh, wow, these are all pretty enticing. 2 extra gold a turn is very, very good. +4 twice, very, very good. I think we'll take the gold, which I'm aware is a little greedy. We don't have any slay abilities, right? Deal 2 damage to everything, it's interesting. I wonder if in a situation we're just taking... You don't have any slays, otherwise this would be great. Dealing 2 to everything is certainly interesting. I might do this because I feel like it shuts down a lot of comps, and we might be able to build around it in a really great way. I want to put this first, that was the other thing we were talking about. And I think I might pause here, because I think True Love's Kiss on the Princess might go to get us a better comp than usual. Oh, we're gonna lose this fight just barely. Wow, that's tough. We almost took down that Humpty. Oh, we should have a lot of extra gold. Okay, I think we're gonna cast this on here. Wow, so that's the combo, right? We're gonna have some very big range characters. So let's see what we want to do with them. So we could get some slays here. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing we can do. Try to go to the health. try to go their attack and health. And yeah, I think we'll just go with this. Everything's gonna grow, you know, a little bit from the double hits. I think each hit will give it 2, and I think it will hit twice. So it'll become 9 powers, 8 powers. Even these will get, even this baby root will get pretty big. This will start growing itself pretty large as well. That's pretty interesting. I will continue to have a lot of gold, which we will hopefully use to find some spell weavers. And then we'll just have to, you know, stop buying some 4s and 5s. We probably won't get as many new treasures, but you know, doubled up treasures, but we might get some higher level ones. And I think these will be pretty good for the time being. Ooh. because our back row had some health, we were able to take them down pretty easily. If we wanted more health, we could grab this. I think it might be worth investing in our long term by grabbing this. Doesn't seem worth it. We can get a ton of attack by grabbing these. There's a ton of attack on everything. I'm not sure these things are worth getting a ton of attack on is the issue. Is it better just to get more 4-drops? You know, I think I'm going to do this. I know it's a little silly, but these 2 ranged characters are going to grow to be enormous. And I think this is actually a really interesting combo if we can get like a Lancelot, because it will grow by 6 every turn before it even has the chance to slay. And then we can get, you know, a level 5 treasure there. You know, obviously a little away from that, but it's an option. There's a few different things. This is the most power we could have gotten on board with just these characters, you know, just this board. We could have rolled, but we only had 6, so we'd only be able to buy 1 4, even if we rolled, and there's just no guarantee we'd get anything. We, you know, bought Gingerbread House for an investment in the future of the game. It, you know, just gives us a buff every time we buy something in the future. An unfortunate one because this isn't dead yet, but yeah, we'll take this person down. Oh, just 2 1 health characters. Okay, so we're able to get, I actually think I'm going to cast another spell and buff this. Oh, we get another one of these, so I think it's time to get rid of this. Right. Yeah, we'll get rid of this. And we'll put this in. Seems worthwhile. We could have got even something like a Prince Arthur. Is it worth having this in? How does this affect the game? I mean, if we just put it back here, it makes things a little smaller, but it gives them. It will, you know, this will get 6 attack, which means when we combine it with this, it will be enormous. I think that's worthwhile. We're still getting +2 gold every turn, which means we have a lot of extra gold to sort of mess around with, which is why we got 2 gingerbread bodies so far. It's just going to mean that when we buy these, you know, 5s and 6s soon, and hopefully soon, right, we'll, you know, have them even bigger than normal. And we, you know, because we have a strong board so far, we'll be able to sort of sustain the advantage even if we end up selling everything that's on this board. Oh, that's a very unfortunate attack for us there. Ooh, luckily this had 1 extra attack. Oh, we're gonna tie this because our ranged attack didn't attack. We certainly could try something like this. I think we're gonna cast a spell to buff these things' attack, although buffing things' attack at this point lose a lot of value. So we could grab the Nutcracker. It would give us a treasure in probably 2 turns. Level 4 treasure though. We're on level 5. I think we're just looking for level 5s at this point. Oh, how do we feel about something like a mummy? I like mummy a lot in general. Baby Bear's very strong in general. Second mummy is nice like the first mummy. So I think we'll buy it, and I think we'll maybe sub out a couple of these things. So the idea here for me is that we're doing 2 damage to everything and dealing an extra 8 means that we clear a lot of boards pretty quickly. I wonder if it's better to put this in. It gains 3, no, it gains 2, no, it gains 4, but we're depriving everything else of 2 from the double trigger on this. I think we'll do this instead. But these mummies get pretty big, so that way when they, you know, they can be strong attackers right at the beginning. Let's see, hopefully they'll attack the mummy. We'll be able to take down a lot of their board with just these triggers. So let's see how we see why this person was not that strong. Nothing super interesting here. Well, I like books. Now we have sort of a spellcast comp. I think books is going to be pretty decent here. Oh, and on that note, we'll cast some spells. We'll buy this. Get a 3-drop treasure. Ooh. Here we go. Get the opportunity for 7. Cast some more spells. We could get a 6. Yeah, 6 is pretty good, right? And we can get a book in. Oh, we did get a 7. Oh, because it... Okay, that thing's doubled. The entire front row summoning 1s seems good because we can throw a book up front. And having these all come back as 1s is pretty good. Yeah, I didn't even realize we'd get a 7 anyway, so we could have paired almost anything. You know, any 3 and above to get the 7 with the doubled up treasure map from the Celestial Tiger. I love that. That's a great combo. And I think we have a pretty interesting board. But these have, you know, huge attack levels right now, just from this Meteor combo. You know, Meteor and Darkwood Creeper combo. So we're going to be throwing out a lot of damage from the combination of our mummies and the books, which are coming back. And you'll note this actually gets buffed by 2 every time these come back. I love our board so far. I mean, it's not clear how valuable it is to still buff this up. Yeah, it's so big, I don't want to waste the gold, because we really would like to get another mummy, get some more books. This is really good because it will just, the meteor means that we'll just kill something right off the start of the fight. We could go for something, oh, we can't do it now. Okay, so we're just looking for a book, here we go. I think that means we want to go something like this. You know, make sure our front row is all very powerful. Things that are very strong when they respawn. We won't get the first ranged attack, but we do protect it back here. And we'll be able to, you know, our front line keeps respawning, so this will hopefully get some nice attacks off. I will probably look to replace these 2 things, the Ring of Meteor and the Spinning Wheel, soon. If we get 5s that are better, but you know, these being doubled means they are still pretty strong throughout the game. Rotten Apple, or sorry, Poison Apple, I think I always call it Rotten Apple, is really great with the Meteor because it takes something down to 1 and then this will take it out. I believe that's the order these trigger. Actually, you know, I'm not 100% sure. Let's put this first too, it has a little more attack. Now, those of you at home will know that the combination of 2 Angries is actually very strong against all our constant board AoE. if this person does win this round, they're gonna have a ton of gold from their group. Huh. Oh wow, they got... Wow, and they won the fight by 2 health. Wow, so they're gonna have a ton of gold this round. So our board was pretty bad against theirs because we kept getting... they had so many Ingris, which means meteors are very bad against them. Oh, we could get a Storm King, but it's not actually much bigger than what we have. I think we'll just buy a spell to try to win a fight. Well, we could buff something. We have so much attack already, though. I don't know if buffing the attack of our characters where we need to be. Unfortunately, we don't find anything. We really want to triple these, so we can just start putting more powerful things in the front row as well. You know, if we triple the book, you only get a plain one when it comes back, right? Yeah. But if we start tripling these, they become even, obviously the effects double, and that's basically all they're here for. And the nice thing with the mummy is that if we end up fighting the Charon again, we won't get the double trigger. It's probably time to let go of the Ring of Meteors too. We had to find something to replace it though. And that was a nice one. This is going to be interesting. So we're going to wipe most of their board because the mummies are going to trigger each other. This is definitely one of the stranger starts to a fight. Wow, so that was a little bit strange. There wasn't a lot of attacking going on, but we were able to take them out. We do talking about Lancelot. Lancelot does trigger almost instantly. I actually wonder what happens if you eat one of these, because it comes back. I don't know. I don't think it's strong enough to really care. We should probably look at Storm Kings. Storm Kings are very strong when they come back, because they don't come back as one. They come back as 1/1s, but they keep all their. They have the ability, which basically puts them at full health. Nothing super interesting here, I don't think. No. Oh, here's another book. One your character fully. I think we can try this. So the meteor. I don't know if we need to increase the health of everything at the moment. Although we will grab the spell because it does give everything a little. Sorry, the attack of everything. It does give everything a little extra attack. And when we get the new mummy, we can look to replace this. Yeah, I think the Storm King might be good here. We do cast a ton of spells. So if we can find one, I think we'll go with that. Obviously you have to find it in order for that to be viable. There we go. Grab one. Hopefully we can find another one. Look at what's just taking a buff. Yeah, buffs our Storm King. Here's the mummy. So I think we'll just pause here. Next turn we'll be able to upgrade the mummy and replace the, and open up a slot, and then hopefully find one more good character to throw up there. We have the staff right now, which means we're only seeing 5s and 6s, and it could be time to replace the spinning wheel, but maybe we just replace this. The spinning wheel is 2 plus gold, plus 2 gold. It is nice because we'll have 14, which means after we buy a 5, we do have a couple rolls if we want to try to buy a 6. It would be nice if any of these were 2s, so we could buy them and just bank an extra gold, but that's asking for a lot. Who is the person who we had so much trouble against? No, Charon. Charon got knocked out Oh, and that was the person that we were really worried about with the meteor storm, so we could have looked to, kept that, but it was just such a liability against them with the Angries that I was worried. And I think we've buffed our attack enough for the most part. At some point there's some diminishing returns, but getting +6 attack, or maybe we'd only get the +4 every turn on everything is very, very strong. So yeah, so the way Storm King works is it comes back and it has the ability, it gets health rating past. So we want us to take out the back row of their ranged characters early. If we can take out all of their good characters, yeah, this is the scenario we want. Oh, and we actually knock them out of the game. So by taking out all their good characters, we really mitigate the power of the good boy. So what I was saying was the Storm King comes back and it keeps this ability +2 for every spell. So it comes back just one smaller because it's only a base 2/2. Oh. If they don't have a... Yeah, if they don't have a... like an Angry or something along those lines, that's going to be really annoying for them. And we could go something like a bear. I am tempted. I think I'm going to keep looking. Something a little more powerful. This is really not doing much at this point. We'll grab another mummy. The idea being that we're going to throw out a ton of AoE damage. And really, pressure their backline. I would have been interesting to grab this. I might walk here because grabbing this for the second one is really great. And I might put this first. The idea being that dealing, 8 damage plus another 1 is really great to pressure that backline. And it might be a little stronger than doing the book first. They both have a ton of attack. This is a very interesting board overall. Ollie. They have a strong board. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, you see it comes back as a 61. They do have a nice group of range characters. We're dealing so much damage to their backline with all these explosions. I think we should win this here. Yeah, and we're gonna take them down. We had a pretty easy game once we got the mirror, because getting level 7 treasure is incredibly strong. We get our first win of the day, we get a first place. Really fun comp with the tiger. I love the meteors with the Darkwood Creeper, which we've kept the entire game. This was originally, I think, a Cinder-ella. So, we got a ton of extra attack on our mermaid, a spellweaver, and our mummies because of that, and our book. And the problem is usually mummies and books aren't able to actually trade in combat, but we were able to make them so big they were really effective there. And we had a Storm King, but it wasn't even really much bigger attack-wise than our other characters. It was just sort of a body we found. And, of course, mirror with this combination and exploding mittens is really incredible. This was a great game, really, really fun. Like, we really got to see a lot of synergies, a lot of fun aspects of this game. And how the treasures and the hero powers make it so cool. So I'm really glad we could do it. Thanks for watching.